I still remember that day. Oh. Dead body? I won't forget it for the rest of my life. A lone car drives on an empty road. On the horizon lies a city partially obscured by its lights and skyscrapers. It was gigantic, and the only thing one could see for miles. Within the car, there was a gray cat. He'd been driving for a long time. Pure determination and motivation being the only thing that powered him through the long journey there. His eyes were heavy until bright flashes of lights in the distance sprung him back up. Lemuria City. It's been a long time. The cat had a history with this city, once very familiar with its tight roads and large population. There were signs and views he hadn't seen in years, looking the same as he always had. However, with this nostalgia came a sting deep within his heart. Deep down, he felt that the only thing awaiting him upon his arrival was disappointment, but his excitement grew the closer he got to the city checkpoint. Alright, here we go. Game by Fortuneye. After wandering for a while, taking in the sights and attempting to understand his surroundings, the tired cat took a rest on some railing overlooking a river. He stared up at the sky, deep in thought. Guess didn't plan this as well as I thought. I have no idea how long I'll be here, and I don't have the money for any kind of crazy long stay at the hotel here. Damn. His mind involuntarily drifted towards the idea of calling a friend who lived there about his situation. He opened his phone's contacts. Yeah, can't really call anyone here for help. Alright, I guess the car it is. Didn't want to ever do this, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Hopefully it's not too uncomfortable. Next day, day 2. Dylan? The cat fixed himself up and met up with the one that woke him up from his less than perfect slumber. Calder? Since when are you here? When'd you come back? Why are you sleeping in your car? The cat took a second to fully understand the situation he was in. The figure in front of him was Dylan, white fluffy dog. Calder knew Dylan. In fact, he knew him quite well. When Calder lived in Lemuria, he was one of his best friends. They even grew up together. He, however, was unsure as to why Dylan's tail was wagging as much as it was. Calder knew he didn't leave the city on a high note. In fact, most people he was associated with could barely even look in his direction still. Hey, you okay? What's wrong? Oh, I'm good. Sorry. Came back just to sightsee and forgot to pack enough cash for a hotel. I only just got here last night. Oh, that's great. I know it's been forever since you've been here. What's it been now? 4 years? Anyway, if you don't have a place to stay, you would crash in my place. You know I have a spare room in my apartment. Why didn't you call? Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Just come over. Let's go. Okay. And just like that, Calder followed, or more so got dragged along by Dylan. He was still processing the previous conversation in his mind as Dylan hurriedly rushed him to his apartment. Calder was innately aware of the fractured relationship he left behind as he ran away, and his ghosting of Dylan was very much included in this. He was in shambles. So why then was he so happy to see you? Calder pondered this for the whole walk. location, Dylan's apartment. Soon they arrived at Dylan's apartment. Calder stepped in and was immediately greeted with the sight of clothing draped over every chair, and washed dishes consisting of glasses of varying types of sizes, along with dirty pots and pans. And to top it off, he could sense an unpleasant stench desperately attempting to overpower the strong scent of artificial lavender air freshener. Amidst the sensory overload of the living space, nostalgia hit him once again, remembering all the times him and Dylan would goof around here. After work, Calder would come over and they'd watch bad movies, play video games, or just talk. It was cathartic, seeing the room that they shared so many good memories in, even if it was just disorganized as they remembered. Sorry about the mess. I also wasn't expecting to have any guests over. No, it's fine. I don't mind at all. Face really hasn't changed one bit. So tell me, what really brought you back anyway? Calder snapped back to reality, and a small but noticeable sense of tension filled the air. Dylan's question, while nothing incriminatory, still put him slightly on edge. You could tell Dylan's words carried a more serious meaning. Oh, no reason really. Just strolling down memory lane, seeing the sights like I said earlier. 4 years is a pretty long time, you know. The air became more still. Calder sensed he didn't answer correctly. Listen, stop playing stupid. I know you're here for a reason. Spill it already. I'm not dumb. Okay, now we get to see Dylan being more serious. It's written all over your face. Is that like a song? Damn, am I that obvious? Yeah. I forgot how scared he gets when he's serious, and how good he is at reading people. Honestly, he could make a good interrogation officer if he wanted to be. Anyway, now that I think quick, Calder pondered his options for a split second and ultimately came to a dilemma. I have two options: tell him why I'm here or keep lying. I should really be honest, since he is letting me stay in this place for now, but I don't want to put him in danger. Investigating Burns' death definitely won't be without some trouble. On the other hand, not telling him I'm lying means I can stick with my original plans, keep it a simple one-man operation. We gotta tell Dylan, because he's letting us stay. Lying is just gonna dig a bigger hole, and when you lie, you remember to lie, and then all that stuff. Yeah, being honest with him brings me the most net gain and makes the most sense. Alright, you got me. I came back to find some kind of justice for Burn. After he died, you know, all eyes have been on me, and I wanted to finally take in the asshole who caused all of this. My life hasn't been the easiest. I even had to move out of Lemuria because of this crap. Burn deserves to have his killer punished, and I want my life back. Thanks for being honest. I had a feeling that's why I found you today. You know, Burn was close to me too. Hearing that he was killed really messed me up at the time. I know no one ever charged you with anything. You were never made a formal suspect. It was hard at the time to point the finger at anyone else. I knew in my heart, deep down, you'd never do something like that. Eventually, I stopped blaming you. That revelation made it hard to find a different suspect, though. Calder was astonished at what he was hearing. His whole life after the incident, he'd been under the impression that he was beyond saving. All his friends were seemingly gone, either dead or never wanted to see him again. Any semblance of his old life, as dead and buried as Burn was. Calder felt his face getting warm and tears trying to pour out, but he didn't want Dylan to see him so vulnerable, so he sealed himself and kept listening. And I'll be honest with you too. I wanted to do my own independent investigation into this for a long time. When I saw you again, I remembered that idea. I felt the fire in me. Let me help you. Let's find this killer together. Calder was yet again taken aback. He didn't know what to say. Welcome to my little investigation team then, Dylan. Glad to have you on my side. Yeah, just like old times, man. Well, now that we've gotten all that melodramatic info dumping out of the way, let's go get drinks. They're on me tonight. Okay, and just like that, everything went back to normal. All his entire body was clenched the whole time, and he didn't even realize it until then. because there was still a good amount of time until the night sky rolled in, too caught up on lost time. Calder talking about his life outside the city, and Dylan about what changed since he left. Before they knew it, the sun set and dusk blanketed the city, allowing its famous bright light to shine on everything in sight. The two discussed where they spend their night, as Calder was unfamiliar with the nightlife after his time away. Oh, I'll bring you to this new bar that opened up not too far from here. It's really great. The bartender is super cute. Alright, I'm intrigued. Show me the way then. The two set off into the night, Dylan in the lead and Calder sticking behind close by. Before long, they arrived at a small, narrow building with a sign that read Ace of Spades. The sign and building were unfamiliar to Calder, but he walked through the doors regardless. New location, Ace of Spades. Calder came through the doors right after Dylan and was greeted by the sound of smooth jazz, clicking of glasses full of drinks, and the quiet chatter of patrons enjoying time together. The bar was almost hidden within the twisting and turning maze of the city, yet the inside was as refined and as dignified Main Street hotspot. A relaxing dim light covered the room and highlighted the main bar table, where a fox in a bartender uniform stood cleaning glasses. He could see some sort of customers within enjoying themselves. A wolf and a young lioness sharing a table in the back side of the room. A small group of suspicious-looking hyenas at the far side of the main table, and a couple of young cats at the table in the middle of the room. Calder recognized the fox behind the counter, his eyes widened in surprise. He stopped in his tracks at the foot of the door, Dylan noticing, and then looked toward the bartender. She turned towards the sudden commotion and fixed her gaze at the cat in a distinct winter coat, gazing at her like a deer trapped in the headlights of an oncoming car. She was at first confused, then her mind finally connected the dots before she realized it. She started to respond. Calder? Florence? Hey, what's going on here? You two know each other or something? Dylan's words sliced the tension in the air and snapped the two back to reality. Yeah, welcome, what can I get you to? Both sat down in the chair at the front. You know my usual. Oh, Calder, what do you want? A glass of cattail, please. Alright, Flo, you heard him. The bartender Florence began to remove a couple of fancy drinks from the wall behind her. The wall was covered in expensive-looking bottles, each with distinct labels in various colors. She didn't say a word as she poured a small glass for each animal. After that, she walked to the other side of the bar's main table and refilled the glasses of the other patrons. Man, I really wish I could say something to her. Judging by her reaction though, something told me she is not as open-minded as Dylan. Calder stared into space, deep in thought, taking small sips from his glass every once in a while, until Dylan snapped him back to reality as he seemed to do quite often today. Hey, so what's the deal between you and Flo? You guys exes or something? What? No. It's nothing. I'll tell you later. Oh, alright. Anyway, now that we're in such a chill, quiet place, let's discuss our game plan for this investigation. Where should we start first? Well, I say we should gather all the information we have first to figure out where we can go from there. Oh, good idea. You go first. Man, I wonder if Florence can hear me. I don't want to twist any more knives than I already have. Well, you know, 4 years ago I was Burns' partner while we were detectives with the LPD. We were working on a case involving a serial murder surrounding the city. One day we were in our base of operations trying to see if we could get any form of new leads with evidence we had and suspects we were looking into. I told Brian I needed some fresh air because our base was getting kind of cramped with all the work we were doing, so I stepped out for a few minutes to cool down. After that, I came back inside and saw the door was slightly open, and inside he was dead silent. I came in and his body just lay there motionless, dead. Apparently his cause of death was strangulation. Thank God for the music playing. Everyone would hear me talk about seeing a dead body while at work. Yikes, this has been terrifying to see. Well, I'll go next then. I was childhood friends with the guy. We were inseparable for years, but once we grew up a bit, we kind of went our separate ways. I was still friends with him, of course, but obviously nothing like when we were kids. Anyway, on that morning he texted me and asked if I wanted to hang out and catch up on things. I obviously agreed. We said we'd meet up at this bar later that night. I came here waiting, but he never showed up. So with this info, we can say Vern definitely didn't have any plans to die that night. We can also say that during the time I was out of the room, I had no alibi whatsoever. It wasn't a sealed room murder, since our door wasn't locked at all when I left. But as it stands, it's really tough to picture how someone could have killed him in that way. Scene was as of that moment. It's always what gets me hung up. There's only one door to the room, but it was right there. I left the outside door open, only planned to hang around for a few minutes or two. The room was only a few feet away from me. I would have heard if someone barged in there. Yeah, that is strange. So it's almost sealed room murder, huh? Oh, here's an idea. What about the windows? Were there any windows in the room? Yeah, there was one, but I looked at after the police arrived. Didn't see anything off with it, sadly. Damn. Well, now that our evidence is all laid out in front of us, let's think what to do with it. Oh, wait a second. What if the case you and Vern were on is related to his murder somehow? Might be a stupid or obvious assumption to make. I figured it might not hurt to bring it up. Good point, but after Vern got done in, the police wanted to wrap up the case as soon as possible. Not really sure why, but they probably just wanted to clean up all the loose ends Vern would leave behind. He had the whole precinct on top of it and managed to catch the perp in only a few days. He confessed instantly and the case was closed just like that. Kinda makes me mad after all those sleepless nights with Vern, trying to piece anything together. Could have been closed so fast. Sounds suspicious. In hindsight, I guess it really does. At the time, because I was in so much shock, I just never thought twice about the ordeal. Then we should definitely look more into the guy the feds caught. Who was he anyway? His name was Hyena, I think. It's been a really long time, so names escape me at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. He was a member of the Cackle, but left sometime midway into the killings. I guess with a background like that, it's no wonder he was dealt the swift hand of justice so fast. Kind of a no-brainer. Do I still feel there's a connection between the two? After all, it's not like there are any other leads we can work with at the moment. I suppose you're right on that one. So let's look into the morning maybe, and we get our investigation on the way. Neither Calder nor Dylan noticed that Florence's ears perked during the conversation. She was a very nosy person, even if she harbored a very deep suspicion towards the cat, still wanted to know what they were talking about, and set a serious tone, no less. Florence had never heard Dylan speak like that, so that made her all the more intrigued. However, Mrs. Calder and Dylan were lost in thought, so was she, and noticed the stool scraping against the wood floor made her jump and realize what was happening. Alright, Flo, the money's on the counter. Have a safe night. Just as she was about to send Dylan a casual goodbye and thank you, she and Calder locked eyes, almost in a silent agreement that they would be meeting again soon. Alright, come again soon. Okay. That's a lot. And that's chapter 1. Okay. I think that's a good part of any to stop on that. We'll go with the main menu. Yes. So yeah, this is Lemuria City. This is still chapter 1. It's an alpha build right now. But basically the whole thing is there's a dude named Vern. Obviously, unfortunately, he was murdered. Calder's a great cat. and he's trying to basically solve the crime of his old partner's killing, and seeking justice for him after being blamed for it for like 4 years. Old friends, new enemies, unsolved case, that type of beat. But yeah, this is still only an alpha build, so it's not 100% done. But if you want to play this game for yourself, of course, I will put it in the description below for you to try it out and see the rest of the chapter. Let's see what else is there. So yeah, it's just casual sort of visual novel. A little dark sense to it. Dylan has kind of like a extreme like chill side and then a very serious side. So there's that, but I mean it's good. I like the art style, I like how the story's developing so far. So this is definitely going to be a really good visual novel if you're interested in that. But I'm going to end it here. I don't want to keep talking. So of course, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I will catch y'all in the next one.